LNG on blue side again. Ultra Prime, this time taking away the Nocturne early, Slayer. So Pantheon still on the board. Curious if it's going to be first pick Pantheon for Climber or if that's going to be denied here by LNG. As Seraphine and Bard also both on the board, and both were banned away by Ultra Prime in that game 1.
Vibe ban. I wonder if that's signaling that LNG maybe wanted to pick something a bit more immobile out of the AD carry position, like the Aphelios. Seraphine also makes it through the ban phase, and it's not the Pantheon that goes. I thought that'd be a surefire lock-in for Climber, knowing how well he's been on that champ. He's played that champion as of late. They instead B1 the Seraphine, and they're daring LNG to break up the most powerful bottom lane of the meta so far.
I am very much in the camp of this duo should not be allowed through. Ashe Seraphine. I think that Karma Ezreal, unironically, is actually the best lane to play into it. So if they want to take that away, that's good. The other lane I like into it, playing Nautilus and playing really fast. I've seen work in Ashe
Nautilus.
Seraphine. Yeah, their lane phase isn't as good. So that's not a Nautilus, though. That is a Bard.
Yeah.
I think Pantheon is what you got to go for now. I would rather give away Ashe and play Pantheon into those two than give away Ashe, Pantheon, Seraphine. That sounds like a nightmare scenario for LNG to play out of.
I feel like 1xN's just gotten the short end of the stick regardless. They're going to lock the Jhin now. And they're going to give over. Your roadmap is looking a lot better
my roadmap
right now.
My roadmap also mentioned how it's a bad draft takes place in this game.
Oh, okay. Cubby,
it does.
What are you keeping from me, Mr. Secrets, man?
I told you I bet on multiple Nirvana games or series in a row. I have the tech now. I have the download. As well, if you didn't think that DFT was a strong enough rune coming in, we have Cassio being blind in the mid lane. So
I think that's also that BuLLDog thinks he's a much better mid laner than Saber right now. Which
potentially,
hate to blame him.
Yeah, I mean, that was. I saw that in game 1. Curious seeing Akali banned out. I think that does speak to Saber's expertise on the champion. Usually when Cassio is picked, we see ranged get banned away from it, which also is a bit of a struggle into Ashe Seraphine, who hold a pretty big range advantage into the Cassio, which is part of why I'm a little bit surprised to see Cassio now, because I think thematically into Ashe Seraphine, you can get hurt really bad later on. So I'm kind of with you, Slayer, that BuLLDog needs to win this mid lane, and LNG needs to do something with a lead. If Ashe Seraphine is allowed to get going, it's a bit of a problem on their shoulders later on.
I'm also just like trying to figure out, Cubby, what does Croco see, and what does Edgar see that they would rather give the Pantheon over, eat likely 2 jungle bans. I think Ultra Prime are going to just double ban jungle because they're not afraid of Sheer. Like, what champion does Croco like here so much that we've landed in this reality?
The champion that's blind and sounds like Listen. I think that's the champion that Croco is listening for from his coach.
Out of all the ways you could describe Lee Sin, man.
I think it's to be Croco Lee Sin. I think that's what they're just giving all this for. Just doesn't matter. Let's just pick
so
Croco
we're just
Lee
hands
Sin.
checking. So we just think we can hands check Ultra Prime. Okay.
Well, if you pick Lee Sin, you are signing up to hands check. To be fair, so I think it's to be. I've watched Croco since the Live Sandbox days, Slayer, when he was playing with Prince and Dove Top, who is still to this day the worst top laner I've ever seen play in a Major 4 region. That guy gave away all of his resources onto Prince.
Cubby, you were like the Oracle right now. Shout out the Odyssey coming soon, Christopher Nolan. Because you were just calling these shots. At least Sin does get locked in. Okay, I did look this up really quickly. This is not what I said's first Jhin game of the year. This is his first Jhin game of the split. He's played it one other time this year into a win. And I hate that he's picked this. It hurts me to see him play this Jhin.
Yeah, I think you just go Aurora plus tank top because Jhin doesn't like seeing tanks.
Unless he's fully scaled up with 6 items. But then, of course, he loves tanks.
Could just Renekton, but okay, no, it's a Sasu
special. A Sasu special. Yep, the deer.
Yep, it's the Udyr, and
this Udyr's been changed a lot. I'm just putting that out there, patch-wise.
It has.
This is a much different Udyr.
Oh, God. I did pull up the patch notes earlier. Because I actually have to consult the patch notes for all the changes that did happen to Udyr. Because I've seen a lot more AD Udyr
it's AD Udyr
being
now,
played.
Yeah. At least
with,
solo queue-wise.
All the Q changes being made. So we do see Sheer. Is he going to try and do it? I think he's going to try and do it.
All right. Sheer expands his champion pool on the split to 6 with this Vayne lock-in. All right. Well, hey, Sasa, good luck, man. Oh, my Lord.
Well, the W was buffed a lot, and you have AD ratios now on Udyr.
If he goes take Udyr into this Vayne, he's getting turbo stomped. That's what.
Yeah, I mean, this is Ultra Prime season, so I think we have a little bit of comfort coming through. But Ashe Seraphine gives you a lot of scaling. It's going to really empower your front line, so that Udyr should be helped. That said, as anti-Jhin as I am, I think Jhin Vayne is a very good pairing. Because Vayne needs help. She needs crowd control. I think they complement each other really well because what Vayne lacks in utility, she obviously brings in some of the highest single target damage you have in the game. Jhin can really help set that up and give you that range advantage back with Curtain Call. I
have verified statistics. This is not only, this is actually the first Vayne game of Sheer's career.
Oh.
How's that make you feel?
If some of Drew Levin's logic was applied to solo queue logic was applied to pro play.
Oh, man. Come on, man. He hasn't even farmed a creep yet, and we're calling for him to get an account ban for just playing
First times, different role. No, I'm kidding. We'll see what Sheer has. Sheer's someone that I really feel like FPX were betting on. I was a little bit surprised to see him, not still with that team or had a chance with JDG. I will say that of a lot of the bets that I've seen teams take on Sheer.
Oh, come on! Nobody.
We had to get some of the gyos in there. Apparently, Ultra Prime's performance from Game 1 was not worthy. But Game 2, they're going to try something different. That's going to be an invade that is spotted. So, potential split map scenario. We'll see how Croco's able to respond. But what I was talking about with Sheer, I've seen a lot of teams bet on Sheer in the league. I feel like when he went over to JDG, it was a bit surprising to me, as that wasn't really a move that I felt like other tops I would have slotted in there. And to see Sheer now kind of fall back down to Group Nirvana, this is a chance for him to prove himself. Vayne's been a pick that, some young top laners in Group Ascend, looking over there at Top Esports, Vayne's been a big pick for them to try and prove themselves. As Croco is getting over the wards and going to try and contest this one, but Climber has the execute.
Oh,
whose execute's better?
Wow, Climber's just going to get mogged like that? You're not even going to try, bro?
I mean, you picked the Lee Sin for the hands check, man.
What a jester, man.
Still got one camp away. So, Climber going to be only taking Lee Sin's Raptors, going from there. This does break the clear that we've seen on from a lot of Lee Sins, which is you take 3 camps on one side of your jungle, base, go farm the other, and then you're stronger for that first crab fight. I don't think Croco's going to be able to go for that.
Well,
he's going to get back the rest of his map.
Croco also couldn't subscribe to the psychotic Guwon clear, which is clear Raptors red buff and then level 2 gank your bottom lane. He's still going for bottom lane gank. Level 3, he is spotted by a nice hawk shot. Hena's already got the ghost going, but there's the Cosmic Binding stun. Croco's Sonic Wave forces XiaoXia to flash. So doesn't result in a kill, but that is a key summoner for this Croco Lee Sin to try and revisit.
You know what? When we talked about this lane too and some of the perspective counters about it, mentioned the Nautilus. It's about making this lane volatile in the bot side. So I think that's part of why Climber's starting bot in the first place. You can take away Lee Sin's bot camps. That's going to protect your bot lane a lot. They did spot Croco for a vast majority of that early game, but still led to Seraphine's flash being blown. 3 summoner spells missing on the up bot lane, so big red flashing lights on that bot side, kind of like how those exist on the top side right now for Sheer.
Good condemn from Sheer. Does buy him a decent amount of time, but then he walks closer back to Sasa. He wanted to get the exhaust on Climber, but he's going to get stunned up. He's trying to buy time for Croco, but he's going to go down to first blood before Croco can show up with that W. Sonic Wave going to land. Is he going to commit here and try and get a kill? 1 versus 2. Good flash from Climber. Gets out of Croco. He's going to ward hop closer. Climber stuns. Flash. Croco gets the kill. And Croco should have the Sonic Wave right back up for a Resident Strike that goes wide. Oh, that hit my windshield. I'm going to have to call somebody to fix that. But luckily, it won't ruin the kill for Croco. He needs 1 more Sonic Wave, and he gets it. All right. He got the 2 kills. It just took a little longer.
It was a perpendicular Sonic Wave to the target, but we're going to ignore that and find the fact that he got the 2 kills, the crab. And hey, it's the Croco Lee Sin, right? Sometimes you just don't question the Croco Lee Sin coming through. There are some players that have the Lee Sin pass. Croco is certainly one of them. And I think that showing some of his Lee Sin prowess there, I think that's an angle that not a lot of our players would go for. And there was a good thread that was up on X today talking about from Molecule. What one tricks do you feel like would be piloted much better in pro play as one tricks versus how the pros play them. I do think that that's something that with champion pools being diluted, thanks to the mechanics of Fearless Draft. Really interesting conversation we had, because I almost put down Ezreal. I feel like we've had a lot of bad Ezreal play that I've seen this split. Lee Sin, some players can play it, some players can't. Croco has always been a player that can play it.
I like that. Definitely, you know, that helps you look at all champions in a different lens. So that is a fun experiment that you brought up there, Cubby.
It is, yeah.
Well, we'll see how crazy Croco will get with this Lee Sin with the gold lead he's currently holding on to here. We did also see something we didn't get to necessarily touch on very quickly, but if you look down towards the bottom lane, 1XM went for some forbidden tech that I guess kind of works on Jhin. He actually started Boots with 3 pots into the Ashe Seraphine to try and get extra sustain, and now he's rushed Swifties. Boy, does it get rid of all of his damage, but if this is about survivability into Ashe Seraphine, I kind of like it from 1XM to get
I like it a lot.
Yeah.
I'm really glad you're focused on that build and not the grass bootier in the vein. That
that one is currently torturing our sweet Rafa, who I know is pretty excited about the Udyr changes. I'm sure this has ruined all of his excitement. Climber has been ruined on his Raptor camp clear, and he gets turned into stone by BuLLDog's Petrifying Gaze. Hey, yeah, the one problem with Aegis Assault, you've got to be facing the opponent you're trying to block damage into, and that's exactly what XiaoXia likes.
Man, this is going to be a double Croco MVP, isn't it? We're just going to
What happened to your roadmap, bro? You're abandoning it already?
Yes. We gave away Ashe Seraphine Pantheon because we can pick Croco Lee Sin, and it's fine, guys. It's fine.
Croco and BuLLDog, man, they are on one hell of a tear, and it's awesome to see, unless you're a Group Ascend bottom half team, I will say.
Why did Climber walk back up here? Did he just want the news that the minions went to someone else?
He had to get a ward down to protect his not respawning red buff. What's wrong with that? I mean, hey, BuLLDog.
It's like going back to check your ex's page when they've already moved on. You know it, you know?
Oh, man.
That feels bad, man.
Why? I don't even want to dignify that one with any sort of response. I would like fighting to commence. Please. Maybe we'll get some. Croco's gonna safeguard hop towards his teammate. We've got the dragon up and available for anyone that wants to take it. Currently, we're getting Scuttle Crab juking everyone out as the stun will land. Good Cosmic Binding using the Scuttle Crab from missing, though. Climber has to be Aegis Defender. What a kick from Croco! Sends Climber into all of his team, but Ultra Prime do turn it back onto BuLLDog, who does get killed off by the Between Worlds, but ooh, Croco, we're getting flashy, and I love it.
Well, while that all happened, I know it's a 1-for-1. I think the biggest play is the fact that Udyr TP down, and now Sasa has to do the walk of shame back. As it was a TP down, absolutely nothing gained. Vayne gets free waves, free time, which if there's any champ in the game that wants that time, it's Vayne. So we have Sasa even further behind top. As the dragon's being taken. This might be contested, though.
Oh, Ashe Arrow, good flash from missing. And that will ruin any sort of take.
It will. He gave away there that they were hitting the dragon. I don't think that was a potential contest, but sadly, enemy jungler is a little bit too far ahead, and it is interesting. I'm seeing Croco go for a different build this time than last time. I saw an Eclipse Lee Sin from him last game. This game looks like the Thunder Sky.
Croco continuing here to innovate. All right, well, LNG are definitely ahead at the 2K mark. How are we going to rebound for Ultra Prime? Well, we're going to face ult on to BuLLDog, but the miasma into the Petrifying Gaze into 2 does stun up just enough. Sasa, I don't know if he got the stun down initially, but they do finally get the kill with the 3-man. So Climber gets some very much needed gold back on that kill.
Like how they've punished Flash being down from BuLLDog now twice. That is a real positive for Ultra Prime. And again, one of the drawbacks of the Cassio, as you can be that lane bully, you do a lot of damage, but seeing BuLLDog step behind twice like that has gotten Saber back into the game a little bit. Much needed. I don't think it's going to impact the Grubs, though, because, again, we saw the Dragon taken around that timer, and now that there is no access to Grand Starfall, and Aurora's ult still down, which I want to say LNG still probably knows. Croco feels very confident starting up these Grubs before he even gets to that basin to finish what could potentially be a Thunder Sky with how far ahead he is in lanes. So, neutral objective still going the way of Croco and LNG.
Definitely helps when you've got a Vayne top that has currently 40 CS on its opponent whenever you want to play for a top side camp. Yep, 3 grubs going to go over. And if you're an LNG fan, let me tell you, I don't got the number in front of me, but a lot of teams normally win when they get first Drake and first 3 grubs in competitive League of Legends. So keep that in mind as we've got a long-ranged arrow that finds its mark from Hena. Long stun for BuLLDog, layered with another stun from Climber. That is a very good sign. Ultra Prime's pick potential really showing out in this mid-game.
Yeah, great find by Hena. Turn that snake into stone as we have, unfortunately, time vote for BuLLDog and 1xN All-Pro. Couldn't get out of that one. No outplays available from Cassio, but of course, scan that QR code. Please join our Discord. Let your voice be heard. As you can vote for all pros for both Group Nirvana and Group Ascend. What we're doing for the LPL English and Love Split Awards. Oh, yeah, that's right. The Group Nirvana players deserve love and affection, too.
Yep.
Especially if they're playing like Croco.
And if you're listening now and you join the LPL English community Discord, if you want to bash the casters' takes, including myself, you can... I give, any of you new joiners to the server the permission to just at me in that gen chat. Please, ask something valuable for my opinion on here. Okay, Flash, Encore, grabs Croco. Sundered Sky, though, keeps him up for a while. He flashes, then kicks away Climber. Warthog gets him just out of the distance of Hena. He goes back in, though, knowing the slow was landed. And that's a shutdown over to Hena, who's now 2-0 on this Ashe.
I thought he almost played that one out well as he tried to escape, was trying to get Sundered Sky procs to keep himself alive going back in, but not going to be the case. And a great setup by XiaoXia. The R flash big into Croco got him even despite the dash to his teammate.
Nice little mechanic play there from XiaoXia. And this is big because the way 1xN is building this gen, I fear the AD carry gap is only going to get larger for a while. I am not a fan of the Dirk I'm seeing in my boy's inventory right now. That should be a Stormrazor for anyone who's curious, in my opinion.
Probably. Alternative theory, if the Vayne sends Udyr like back into the Stone Age, maybe we don't need to worry about that. We just go lethality into this.
Oh, okay, Hena. Nice little trade. Gets the arrow down before the third likely lethal shot comes through from 1xN. So, yeah, I do agree. I just will continue my stance that the reason Jin
I'm with you.
does bad in pro play is because it is consistently built poorly. So
yeah, I'm kind of with you there too. Sometimes pros play for specific timers and spikes that don't scale as well into the game, and us casuals need to make sure we're always scaling well into the game because we're gonna make plays to throw. Speaking of bad builds, Shear's going for experimental Hexblade, which I don't love first on Vayne. I know it's kind of been the standard, but still think that Trinity Force give you a lot of mileage on that champion.
Yeah, I mean, could you even wager Blade of the Rune King because you're playing a tank Udyr for lane? I know it's not as valuable later, but I feel like that would have been much better into this.
I like the crit. I think it's kind of hard to auto attack perma as Vayne. Having some crit to dance around the fight and find those pretty big autos from the RQs, which I think are pretty slept on. That's part of why I like Triforce, though, because, again, Triforce allows you to be strong in the parts of the game where you don't have your ult up. That can be quite valuable.
All right, let's see if some ults fly down here, Cubby. Second dragon spawning onto the Rift, and Ultra Prime are pretty even when it comes to gold, mainly item-wise, when you look across the board here. So they're feeling like they can fight.
Hena, what a walk.
Yeah, Hena gonna get some serious autos down. Nice beat drop, double tap into the Encore. Missing is on 11 HP. Barely surviving that ult combo there from XiaoXia, but while they don't get the kill, it should allow Ultra Prime to get themselves the second dragon, barring some Croco magic.
I was really surprised that Hena walked through Shrine Rush like that, and that was allowed. I think looking back at that setup, if I'm LNG, like, how is that? How do we allow Ashe to walk through when we had Bard, Jhin, Lee Sin right there? Probably something that I'd want to look at again. I don't think that should have been legal. And once Hena does that, I mean, really positive trade to get Croco out, and also good abilities connecting to get Missing all the way out as he was on double-digit HP. So that's going to be the Dragon for Ultra Prime. And Ultra Prime, again, fighting for their lives here for Split 3. We cannot say this enough. Okay, here we go.
Here we go.
Man drop coming in.
Yep, rinse and repeat. 1 versus 3 combos of Grand Starfall, the best play. Good cleanse, despite the late flash, and does use the tenacity to get himself out of the Ashe arrow. TP coming in as well from Ultra Prime, trying to cover for the regank as the curtain call will not find much damage. TP's galore. Oh my god, I think we had 3 TPs at once. It's all of a sudden a 5v5. Croco gonna land the kick, but he's far too up alone. Between Worlds comes down. Saber looks for the kill, but Croco is alive and thriving. And the fourth shot comes through from 1xN. Petrifying Gaze gonna slow everybody else down as Sasa tries to run down the low HP members. And Sheer with the final hour trying to dip and dodge around Climber and Hena, but now he has been seceded. Tries to use the invis to get away from Sasa. He's burning alive, and the volley from Hena will find that kill to give Ultra Prime a slight edge on a 5v5 we didn't even see coming.
I mean, we didn't see it coming because every TP was burned there. And a big win for Ultra Prime. Getting Vayne down like that to leave the lane and then also take her down. They went out on the fight. A lot of tools were taken away there. And it was off the back of a Croco engage that this looked a little bit forced to me. I don't know if you need this. Like, you see a double TP coming in. I know that they already brought Sheer down. Croco does such a good job of living because, again, the Sundered Sky procs, how he dances throughout this, it's pretty much a one-way trip when you're jumping into an Udyr stun like that, point and click. But, I mean, funnily enough, Udyr's kind of the big difference in the back half because from here it looks like this fight might have been won. But Sasa flashes in, gets a ton of damage down. Onto the back line, forces 1xN out, kind of disconnects him to continue that front line play as Sheer runs out of gas, and Sasa turns this around. So it's been a tough lane phase for Sasa. Had a really nice team fight there.
And the Ultra Prime coaching staff, knowing the stakes
of
a game like this, they know they needed that fight win. Still won't have access to that gold lead, so they're not going to have it breaking that 15-minute mark, Cubby, so they don't get access to that undefeated streak they have at that point if they hold the gold lead. But nonetheless, the game's close enough that they are looking a lot more proactive as a squad. On to the Rift Herald, and this time, unlike Game 1's woes, LNG have no room to contest.
Do you think we've still seen some of the early game woes here by Ultra Prime, as this is a team that, on average, is down 1,890 gold at 15? Done some good work to come back in this one, but a lot of these plays that are set up, I think, by Climber, if it's not around mid, it feels kind of weird. I think that a lot of the setups around bot, even with Ashe Seraphine, were not quite on point. So we are going to see Ashe Seraphine good work down here. I think Tempered Fate might come down and save the charge.
Oh, well, that's a little awkward.
Not
Croco,
exactly needed.
Croco hit the eye and smited. I wonder what's up with missing in the Vitality. That was the Vitality logo, right? I wonder what that's all about.
He likes bees, man. Maybe he rocks all the bee skins.
Ooh. I guess what bee skins would we ever even see come into pro play? Because now that I'm thinking about it, all the bee skins are on like champions that just never get played in pro. Like the only thing I can think of is Angel on Malzahar, maybe.
That's been Missing's great struggle actually. Is he just wants to play Beekeeper Singed with Senna, you know? That's all he wants in life.
Should hit up Fiji then.
Yeah, that's true. Probably the wrong Singed skin though, as he would say.
Yeah, that is in fact true. Cubby, would we like to have the discussion on what the hell we think 1xN's building? Is this now going to be a Storm Racer? After the Yomus? All right, hold on. Climber's getting ganked. Good condemn to try and get Climber away, so there's no stun to follow. Flash comes, goes invis with the final hour first. Dipping, ducking, and dodging around Sasa. He nearly actually takes Sasa down with him, but the pick potential of this Pantheon comes through once more. More gold to Ultra Prime.
Sheer put that out as well as he could. I think this is just the struggles of playing Vayne into 2 point-and-click solo laners and a Pantheon that has the semi-global to go impact your lane, which we have seen Climber get very active, and Climber's turned around all 3 of his lanes here, Slayer. I think Climber deserves some real credit. He got behind early. Croco got the best of him off of Climber's invades, and what has Climber done from there? It was a positive mid-ganks to shut down the flashless Cassio.
Oh, Saber, some good clicks there out of him. Does have to flash, but doesn't get caught by the Tempered Fate. Mikhail's having to use his Croco eats an arrow. Sasa is going to TP behind this tier 1 turret, but there's no way for this dive to work. Croco's going to re-engage. Passes all the teams close by. XiaoXia hits a 3-man encore. Petrifying Gaze, though, is going to stall Ultra Prime's advances as they found themselves a new target. 1xN's getting slowed up by Hena. More slows starting to stack here. Cosmic Bounty not going to land, but the Condemn will get Sasa off of LNG. We've been calling out Croco as having some really confident looks, but that one on to Sasa was a different adjective, I feel.
It was maybe some hubris, but it wasn't followed through on. He got out. But again, going back to the other jungler of the match, Climber, I feel like Climber's turned around all 3 lanes here. After being behind in his own role pretty bad, when he was down like 3-4 camps, he got killed at his Raptors at level 5. We saw Lee Sin hit level 6, and we were kind of expecting Croco to run away with this game. But I do think that Climber's used that semi-global really well. He punished BuLLDog's flash being down the Casio really well. He just punished Shear's being out of summoners well on the top side. His Shear played that out as well as he could, but not enough gas to get out of that gank. So, yeah, I think Climber definitely deserves major kudos for stepping up. And, again, a must-win match for Ultra Prime.
Need to get this win, not just to try and win the series, but O2... What is O2 the one that mathematically eliminates them, or basically mathematically? I know if they can get a game and force game 3 game score, it really helps out their game score for trying to stay in the LPL.
It's not in their own control if they don't win this series. Game score doesn't matter quite as much. It comes down to a little bit of tiebreakers between some of the teams, but we have 3 teams in our standings currently sitting at 2 wins. And so if you're at 1 win, even with 1 match left going up against OMG, yeah, every game 1 matters, but you got to find some series wins with where you're at. Ultra Prime here staring down a potential 1-3 series score in a single round robin between 6
Missing's
teams.
got Hena. Going to force the encore out of XiaoXia, but look at 1xN off to the side, getting a ton of damage down. Missing will drop, but that's a worthy trade. Petrified Gaze going to stun up Climber as he tries to climb out of a very messy spot. Curtain call shot's going to slow up XiaoXia. Going to force Croco to flash right on top of him. Sonic Wave's going to land. And he should have enough damage with the deadly flourish into that resonating strike to pick off XiaoXia. And yeah, you called it, Cubby. What bad timing for Ultra Prime to lose a fight as they're on to the Baron for LNG.
This is Vayne Casio. Like, I love the fact they're starting the Baron, drawing him in. They're down numbers. Pantheon can't reach the fight. Salsa
flashes on BuLLDog, who does flash away. Croco landed a resonating strike, goes for the kick, throws him right into Shear's waiting arms. Who's going to flash just to make sure Saber goes down. Salsa and Saber have gotten LNG off of that Baron. But it's looking like it's going to come at quite a cost as another Cosmic Binding Stun gives Shear a multi-kill that should terrify Ultra Prime.
Well, going back, talking about the other jungler. Croco's Lee Sin, it's nasty, man. We talk about it for a reason. I think that these preemptive flashes, or some of the angles that he's seeing, it just looks different. He knows this champion so well. He's so comfortable on the Lee Sin. And I love, just the start of the fight was really good from Missing, but how Croco plays this out, he doesn't really care about the Pantheon. He's going to go zone out Saber and XiaoXia first, because he knows that as Lee Sin, you can chase. It's more important for you to kind of posture, split up the team, than to actually go in for that fight against the Pantheon, who got exhausted, got stunned, was grounded. It was a terrible spot for Pantheon to be on. And then the preemptive flash after that Sonic Wave miss, knowing that that play was there. Just really, really good play by Croco. We know he's comfortable on this champion, and we know it because whenever he gets his hands on it, he always proves it. His Lee Sin just looks different than others that get played.
And where did a lot of the gold go off of that winning play?
Yeah, that was the follow-up point.
Yeah, three of the kills go over to 80 carries, or marksman, I guess we should say here, with Shear picking up 2 of them. So both those guys are soon to get to their 3rd item breakpoints. But right now we talk about LNG's covert operation, Cubby. Croco and
Do it
BuLLDog
so fast.
burning through this Baron.
Casio and Vayne rip through Baron as individual champs faster than some of, they're some of the fastest Baron takers in the game. You put them on the same team. I really like how aggressively LNG is playing around this Baron. I would like to see Shear get a little bit more side lane farm, but when you're going up against Ashe Pantheon, the ability for Ultra Prime to engage is quite great. So I think trying to pilot Vayne around that's big.
Arrow doesn't land, and all the Grand Starfall does is kind of separate LNG, but they're going to recombine into 5, and now look to go for that chase you were talking about. Curtain call slows are starting to land. XiaoXia's going to take all of them up, including the 4th shot. And Shear is gifted a kill with 1 mere auto. Nice turn there from LNG.
I feel like we should have caught that one, Salsa. This could go from bad to worse, by the way. Losing Seraphine like this is terrible. I think that could have been saved by Missing. Again, getting the turret with that Tempered Fate. I'd have been able to, push for a quick look where you can have a Croco ward hop kick or some sort of angle like that, but you're starting to see as this game continues the push and pull of the Ashe Seraphine engage. If it doesn't quite connect, the ability for Lee Sin, Jhin to kind of out-interact you in the long haul, for Bard to fish, and then the DPS from Vayne is very threatening at this point. LNG have one of the more unique answers I've seen to the Ashe Seraphine. And I think that most of this is working just because Croco's really good at Lee Sin, and Ultra Prime has made some mistakes, but
yeah,
it's kind of working later. We're used to seeing Ashe Seraphine, if you don't beat them fast enough, just take over games because they're utility. We haven't seen that yet.
Well, I think it really lends credence to how spread out this comp could be with the Vayne, with the Lee Sin, and all that. They don't really bunch up like an Ashe Seraphine composition wants them to for those ultimates. We're trying to lead through Sasa as a tank. Between Worlds can come out from Saber. Arrow does land onto BuLLDog here, but he's not dropping quick enough. He gets Petrifying Daze down onto Climber as Hena has a 1v1 with Croco, but he gets kicked. Safeguard hop and kicked down by Croco. Nice kill there found from Croco to a mispositioned Hena. And now we've got ourselves a 4-on-4.
I'm very surprised that Hena opted the 1v1 the Lee Sin. I think that makes this Dragon a lot harder. But this might still be a give. I think the health bars are still good enough where Ultra Prime's going to get this one for themselves.
That's Soul Point.
Will be the case.
It's a clear win con here for Ultra Prime. Infernal Soul Point. Now 5 minutes later, Ultra Prime have a clear goal set in mind here in a game that they're still markedly behind on, but let's get a replay back through this little skirmish we had.
Udyr really just man-bear pigged in there and actually lived. The Awaken W scales more off the ADs, so I guess the changes made doesn't really have a big impact here. Wow, Hena walked straight into a Lee Sin. Okay. Yeah, he deserved to die there. That's I would have liked to focus more on Sasa and how he was able to heal through that one, but that was a choice.
Yeah, you know, I actually do think that works out if he gets vision on that brush. Kudos to Croco for knowing that, like, that vision plant can't necessarily spot the brush that's behind it, and he didn't have blue trinket up. So couldn't get the spot on a Croco. Probably gets 2 more autos down with that Q, and maybe kills Croco there. So nice play there from Croco to utilize the vision to make sure he doesn't drop there. All right, let's see how tanky this tank Udyr is going to really be here with some of these shields. Don't have anyone building Serpent's Fang, but Shear's getting some serious autos in. You know what? I like your thinking here. Sasa is a problem, even for the 2 marksman comp to deal with.
He's got a Spirit Visage and Fimbulwinter, so he's stacking shields, and the shields just get bigger.
Too, which I like in the Vayne
yeah, probably. And so this Udyr is just going to be a walking shield and aura debuff on top of the Ashe Seraphine behind it to try and make some more space. This is definitely been some comfort for Ultra Prime, as Sasa has always been an Udyr player. But yeah, it's kind of unique to see at least how the comfort of some of these players has impacted the series or the drafts. I think Croco Lee Sin's always a comfort pick that's good, but Sasa Udyr, it's down 3k gold. And it feels quite impactful right now, Slayer.
Yeah, and that is really all of the gold lead for LNG right now is Sheer at this point, who is a menace in his own right. So I am kind of curious to see now that LNG recognize, like, 5v5s have gotten a bit harder. I know Sheer is like the 3-item Vayne, who is like a huge damage dealing threat, but I'm starting to wonder if leaning the Vayne more into sides to just like pull Sasa away from any sort of fighting is worth it, because I think the 4v4 looks a lot better for LNG.
I agree. Again, the issue is the Pantheon Ashe attacking is hard. And I think that's really,
Vayne, right? Yeah.
It's really starved Vayne out, though. I mean, Vayne's the same level, but we're below where BuLLDog's at now with Sheer. I think it really speaks to, and keep in mind, I mean, you're getting more XP from everything as a top laner this year. I think it really speaks to just the respect they're putting on the ability for Ashe Pantheon to fish for Vayne in the side lane. I would like to see them test that again, though.
Oh, Tempered Fate does grab XiaoXia. He's going to have to flash. Sasa is starting to get a lot of damage here from BuLLDog, who seems to be the missing link to make sure that man-bear pig is a pork tenderloin for whoever wants to eat it.
Yeah, he got melted there. Was not able to chain the Awakened Ws and use and abuse some of the double surround sounds coming out from XiaoXia. That's going to be a Baron start again. Lee Sin, Cassio threatened this so quickly. It's going to be on Jhin Bar to set the utility to try and peel off, which I do think LNG wants to do. They don't want to flip this.
Whoa, Mystic going to flash after XiaoXia. Does not get the stun on the Cosmic Binding. And they're going to drop Baron aggro just like that.
Yeah. I think they could have fished a little bit more, but Dragon's up in 1:10. So they're going to try and get a good reset in for the Dragon. And they're beating Ultra Prime to the reset. So they're going to fix this mid lane, but their members coming out of base first compared to Ultra Prime. Very important for a Dragon that is, as you highlighted, the last Dragon that was taken, Slayer. opened up the soul for Ultra Prime. Going to be available here in a minute.
Some key items that come through here for LNG that I think is worth pointing out. We do have heal cut here through for BuLLDog. I think we saw exactly what that does to XiaoXia in that last little engage. And we also have the GA here for Croco already completed and Climber. So both these junglers are going to be ever more so aggressive with either their engage looks or potential 50-50 smites with the fact that they will be revived. Keep that in mind as we see both teams start to try and set up playing through mid towards that Dragon Pit.
Yeah, LNG, though, I think peeling off that Baron first, feeding them into the river, is going to be a big difference maker in terms of this setup.
XiaoXia on the front line is dangerous. Hena's going to ghost and try and run down, missing. Fires the arrow on the other side of the portal as well. Saber trying to go forward between worlds. Hena trying to dash around everybody as XiaoXia will hit the encore onto BuLLDog. Hena is out and safe, and BuLLDog has been sectioned off, and he is down. 4 versus 5 for LNG, and they have to find a way to contest this dragon, but they're looking like they're giving it up.
That's Soul. I think Saber had a really big ultimate there as LNG were holding space. I honestly kind of need a replay of that one. Because it looked to me like they were holding the space around that bot side embankment brush. So not the banana brush, but the one closer to the mid lane. And Saber was the one that with Hena. Hena made a lot of space that time, but Saber's ult was what really split them up. As, again, 1xN a little bit too far up here, and Missing really fishing on Hena. So Missing loses half his health bar for really nothing. And then this kind of forces them in a bad spot, and Saber's ult was big. That's what splits up BuLLDog. So, yeah, I feel like Missing played that one a little bit too fast, and then we did have Croco go for a big play. Wasn't quite able to find Hena on the flip side as XiaoXia was holding bodyguard. So that's Infernal Soul over to Ultra Prime. And my group Nirvana narrative for the day, Slayer, is all of a sudden relevant again.
Yeah, feeling really relevant. If LNG can't find a way to stop this Baron, they're going to have to fight for it. Below 5k, Arrow's going to go down onto Missing. He uses the Temper Fate on himself, though, so they can't engage onto him. He tries to portal, but Hena has him over the wall pinned. First skill going to come down, but Ultra Prime has been pushed off the Baron. This XiaoXia is going to have to flash over a wall to reconvene with his team. LNG have to sacrifice their support to stop the Baron play for Ultra Prime, but it's time to redo it all over again.
And Udi or Seraphine can just pull this forever if they really want to. It's got to be a clean fight for LNG. Croco's not spotted. Oh, if he did Sonic Wave there, I don't know how Croco hasn't been spotted.
No, he hasn't. There's no Ash Arrow, so BuLLDog's playing a lot more aggressive. Deadly Flourish is going to land onto Saber. He doesn't get Petrifying Gaze. There goes the Encore across as Saber tries to use Between Worlds to get onto Sheer. 1xN has found the kill onto XiaoXia as we see Croco go to the stasis. Climber going after Sheer, though, shuts him down, but the revived Croco with the rest of LNG gets rid of XiaoXia and gives them the win on the fight. And now they're going 3 versus 2 into this Baron. Here comes the Grand Starfall from Climber down to try and steal away this Baron. It's far too low. Somebody's going to have to take it. Croco doesn't want to do it. He's just going to smite away from Climber. The Baron secured for LNG. And now with Missing rejoin, they've got the numbers to scrap out the rest of this fight. Croco sees Climber revive and sends him right back to the gray screen.
That was a crazy fight, Slayer. And I honestly don't know how LNG got it. I think the big difference maker, when we see that again, it's the only person in the gray screen. I think Sheer just did a metric crap ton of damage in this fight. As we go back, watch Sheer enter. He's going to get Saber out of it. Saber, I thought, played this out pretty nicely with the ult. But yeah, that Condemn, it pushes him to the other side of Between Worlds. Sheer's going to get one more auto down on Saber. Saber takes that back, so he's completely out of the fight. And then Hena ate a 4th shot from 1xN that took away the vast majority of his health bar from the looks of things. So yeah, kind of, I mean, this really feels like a fight setup-wise, being down numbers. Ultra Prime should have came out of it further up numbers. Instead, feels like Sheer really split them up here. BuLLDog had a pretty good engage into the fight, too, and just kind of broke the setup.
I love how both the junglers, decided neither of us want the Baron to be touched because we don't want a 50-50. And then every other member in that fight did AoE damage to the Baron to get it low enough. So Croco at 600 HP is like, I have to smite it. I can't believe it got this low.
Yeah.
We do see in the aftermath of that really game-defining play that LNG's Baron power plays netted them a ton of gold. They get the mid-tier 1 turret, they get the bot tier 2 turret, but here comes the flank. Grand Starfall on top of BuLLDog. He hits a ton of ultimates. He goes to the stasis though as the encore comes down. Unfortunately, 1xN will not survive, and BuLLDog comes back up to the free-firing Hena. A sacrificial play from Sheer to get one, but he dies going back out. Croco's kick may just be what survives Croco and Missing, the only 2 members of LNG that survive with the Baron.
And again, that's, I think, partly why we've seen LNG group so much this game. The ability for Ashe Pantheon to find these plays, it's really great. And that was a really good find by Climber and Hena, as they did catch 1xN in the big wombo combo. He does die, does not use flash, or didn't have it up. I didn't catch that going into that fight. It was kind of fast coming out of the replay, but... Oh, wait, another play?
He ward hops onto Hena. He flashes away from the Climber stun. Re-engages with the Sonic Wave. Gets rid of Hena. Croco doesn't get the Sunderside heal to find the second kill himself. But Croco Magic spikes again here for LNG to get a win.
He can play decent. He can. He can continue to pick this pick if he wants it. I think he can have it whatever he wants. That said, I don't exactly know why Hena was up that far.
He's been limited testing with this Ashe all game.
He's been a little frontline Ashe this game. Yeah,
it's worked out sometimes though. I mean, at some points he's kind of just walked down all of LNG whenever they're kind of separated. So I don't necessarily hate it. For all the talking points we have about Ashe, this champion with the right sort of front line, especially next to Seraphine, a ton of damage with this many items.
I would like to see it perform more consistently. How about that, Slayer? And they're going to need it as Elder Dragon 50 seconds away. Keep in mind, guys, this could be Ultra Prime season. This could be whether or not we see them in Split 3. If they do not win this series, they do have OMG last, but the odds of making it out of Group Nirvana into the play-in stage of the playoffs to face that Group Ascent team, pretty low. And if you are not in that play-in series to play the Group Ascent team, you're watching from the couch for the rest of the year. Not a position that any of these players want to be in, but one that Ultra Prime, again, if they don't win this game, could very easily find themselves in, as they need a series win here to control their own destiny. Going up against LNG. They do have Infernal Soul, a bit of control over this bot river, but this game has been nothing but convincing from either side. It's been no convincing from either side.
Yeah, we have scrapped it out, and what that means is one fight can really turn the fortunes of all. So we do have that same mid-first setup from LNG, but they need to be careful separating at all. An Ashe Arrow can come down, a Pantheon on your head at any point. LNG this time do handle the mid-wave fine. We're going to move everybody into this river to try and defend this space from Sasa and his very healthy bar on top of his head. Grand Starfall try and separate. They get 1xN. He's going to cleanse out as Saber and Climber go together into the backline. But that Tempered Fate from Missing shows up both Hena and XiaoXia. But Sheer can't find those kills. Climber gets the first one here. BuLLDog into the stasis. Croco tries to jump back forward. But Climber doesn't even drop. He stays up and alive. And Hena gets to turn his sights onto the remaining carries. BuLLDog goes down. Here comes the curtain call, but it means curtain squat here from 1xN. Except to kill onto XiaoXia. Climber and Ultra Prime are going to have a shot here at Elder, but they have to try and first chase down the stragglers. Huge force shot comes out from 1xN. Hena's going to flash forward to get the slow here. 1xN can't find that turn. No, the trap won't find the kill. Missing's trying to glide on it. He finds the kill onto Hena. Somehow Missing is the healthiest member here. Farm gameplay. Climber, no, he gets the stun. Missing will go down. Do they have enough to do this Elder now, though?
I think so. I mean, Climber's the MVP of that fight. He had a point-and-click stun on the Vayne and Lee Sin that shut both the very mobile champions down. And that's going to be Elder on at least 3. I think they can give it to Udyr. I don't know if they can wait around for the Seraphine. I don't think they want to, but again, what a chaotic fight coming in Ultra Prime with their season on the line. Able to at least muster up enough to take the first Elder, take down LNG, hopefully be able to use this to get a Baron. We'll see. As again, nothing's been convincing in this game. But Climber was really the MVP of this fight for me. A lot used on 1xN to get him out. Missing's focused on 1xN. He drops McHale's on him. But it is Sheer.
Oh,
who, I gotta say, some unlucky timing there from Missing and BuLLDog. Again, Sheer's also, like, could have autoed a lot if that Tempered Fate doesn't come down. Instead, that window where Pantheon uses cooldowns, it's kind of burned by the Tempered Fate. And Pantheon just point-and-clicks Vayne into point-and-clicks Lee Sin and shuts them both down, as that is really what won Ultra Prime the fight. It's 4 members with Elder. That's going to be a Baron that falls, and an LNG under siege.
Very scary siege indeed. It's only Elder on to 3. And markedly, it's not Hena that gets it either. So that is pretty important for these late game fights. But right now with Baron and Elder, LNG, all they can really do is try to survive this push without fighting. They need to just clear waves, but the Ash Arrow lands its mark onto BuLLDog, and he goes down again. And that might just be the single kill that keeps Ultra Prime season alive, as now they can march his 5v4 onto these Nexus turrets. What extends Curtain Call doesn't do anything. The waves are up here, and Sasa is so confident he can run right down LNG's throat. Ultra Prime needed a win to keep their chances at Split 3 alive, and they've done just that. Game 3 coming.
All right, Ultra Prime, you got the Ash Seraphine. It wasn't pretty, but we made it work. We shut down the Croco Lee Sin eventually out there. And we have a Game 3 again, where if Ultra Prime wins, we have 4 teams tied at 2 set wins in Group Nirvana. That is really, really high stakes gameplay in the group for the rest of the regular season. I mean, all the matches that we have left, it's only, there'll be 2 teams left that have 2 series in EDG and OMG. Everyone else is going to have 1 series left. That's going to make those single series so important to win if you want to make it out of this group. I feel very confident in saying that LNG has been the better team tonight. They dominated Game 1. That was a very frisky Game 2, and I say frisky not only because of the gameplay, but because we gave away Ash Seraphine Pantheon and thought that was a good idea, of which it wasn't. Ultra Prime made it work in the end. But they didn't sell us that we feel like this is still the better team or one that's going to come out on top tonight. We'll see if they can sell us on that in Game 3. They're going to need to, again, if they want to control their own destiny with what is going to happen for the rest of Group Nirvana here.
You know, Cubby, the only thing I can think back to is give you some praise here, man, is your Nirvana roadmap.
I mean, it doesn't deserve praise. It deserves shame. It really does. But
why
because this can't keep on happening. I can't just like walk in a series and be like, all right, favorite wins Game 1. Game 2 is a bit of a draft, and then Game 3 is going to be, to be fair, Game 3 has been the turbo banger. Last Game 2 I had between TT and LNG was fun, and it was kind of closely contested. Going to Game 3, I very much felt like LNG was a better team. I feel stronger about that today, going up against Ultra Prime, but that Game 3 was close. It was competitive. I thought it was well played by both teams. So I think this time around, I need to see more from Ultra Prime still, as the Sasa Udyr out of the pool. I think it's worth mentioning. It really feels like he always can lean on that champion. It's been his most played again this split when no one else is playing it. He always manages to put up good performances, good wins on it. He's got to do that on other champs, and we did not see that in Game 1. We didn't see get up to anything in Game 1. So just curious if LNG can go back to the drawing board, get a bit of a less risky draft on the board. Let's put it that way. Playing Vayne in the Pantheon,
first
Ash,
Vayne ever,
Seraphine. It had its moments, but it was hard. Playing Cassio, by the way, into Ash Seraphine, that needs to be looked at, because we are asking to be range gated for the entire game, which is exactly what happened to the Cassio throughout that game.
Yeah,
so
that's a great shout.
Some bold decisions were made by LNG in the draft, and they tried to play bold on the Rift. They played bold enough to make that game close, but the more standard draft from what we've seen in pro play, the split won.
Yeah, I mean, my final note here is never put my boy 1xN on Jhin again. If you're going to put him on Jhin, at least at this point set up BuLLDog to be a better carry. Edgar, you've done some great things. We're excited about how your production you've got out of Croco and BuLLDog, especially this split. Brother, you picked Shear's first ever Vayne game in his career to put your superstar AD carry on Jhin.
And we also gave up Ash Seraphine.
Well, and you had to give up XiaoXia on 3 straight picks to do it. So, yeah, this one, I think we were coping a little too hard with Croco, Lisa, and Fun for a draft that was pretty disastrous.
There was some Croco, Lisa, and Fun. I appreciate they tried to make bot lane volatile. It wasn't good enough. In the post-game, big issue, we kind of teased both the mid laners coming into the day. Team captain Saber stepped up big, and I do think that BuLLDog's champion was a little limited with what it was able to do just later on in these fights. That is a sweet cinematic. from Lee Sin. But yeah, I feel like a little bit limited in terms of what Cassio could do, because again, it's very range gated. And I kind of, whenever you pick Cassio in draft, you can usually see that coming. This is a champion that very much struggles with range, so I think that the lead it got in lane just not close to being big enough. And yeah, I mean, a lot of these fights, we're just seeing it be ran down and out interacted with abilities that outrange Cassio. Exactly how you want to play into the champion, and it was played well by Ultra Prime.
Credit to Ultra Prime for being able to pilot a very good draft to a Game 1 win. You've thrown a lot of names around here, Cubby, when talking about good performances.
It's a Climber MVP. Oh, God, yeah, it has to be.
All right, yeah,
I think how he played the last couple fights, and then also we were talking about how he brought back all 3 lanes. Really got all 3 lanes into this game from what was a pretty disastrous start. And from him starting behind as well against this Lee Sin. So I do think it's a Climber MVP.
All right. Yeah,
I'd be surprised if it wasn't.
No, I'm with you. I think Climber, I believe Climber is now, unless I'm missing a series that he picked it, the last 3 times I've seen him get Pantheon, he's not only won the game, but also, like we're talking about, been the player of the game. So this is a very potent champion for Climber whenever he gets his hands on it.
And makes your words for Edgar ring even truer.
Oh, so, yeah. No, yep.
Yeah. I mean, again, I think the strength of Pantheon later on, he's such an oppressive champ if it goes late. And then you're playing against Ashe Seraphine. And Pantheon can just point and click your carries at will. Again, I feel like that Tempered Fate missing is going to want back. Because that seemed like the angle of the fight. That LNG could have really turned it, but then up gets back. Sheer gets one shot, and then watch Climber or Croco trying to go for the ring gauge. Yep, point and click stun for the Pantheon. Good night.
Yeah, I didn't even catch that it stopped the petrifying gaze the first time. I thought it was a good
bang,
Tempered
bang.
Fate to kind of just like stall the Ashe from revving up a bit. But that's a great shout, because the only time we saw like a fight really go later in the ways of LNG was when BuLLDog got to free hit onto Sasa, because he wasn't getting triple ulted on his head. So that would have let him free hit onto Hena. Much different story. That, of course, is not the reality we are in. We are getting set up for a Game 3 that, I mean, it now matters for both sides. You know, we talked about how much more it matters for Ultra Prime. If they could get to 2 wins, how crazy this group gets. But LNG, if they do find the single game win now, will not only likely spell the doom of Ultra Prime's games in 2026 forward, but get themselves onto that top spot. They're going to give it to Hena. Listen, his plays look flashy, but he did some egregious things.
This man face-checked Lee Sin. We gave a pog. I would be bullied so hard in my call if I did that. Oh my goodness.
All right, let's wait and see. You want to see the voting breakdown, Cubby?
Yeah, I would actually. I need to flame some. We need to flame some people over there. I do think that a couple of objectives did go the way of Ultra Prime because of Hena, but there were a couple illegal things that happened for the Ashe this gameplay. It should have been a Climber. Who's voting for Sasa?
That's the second time the Summoners
It's the second random top lane vote.
Or for a top laner, yeah.
The Udyr was cool, but the build didn't even really utilize the buffs that the build gets, right? Because it was the R-Max, it wasn't the 80, giving you more of a shield and giving you bigger Qs, which they did make a lot of changes to Udyr that if you're an Udyr fan are worth reading. But yeah, Sasa gets his win on his signature Udyr, and we're going to a Game 3, Slayer.
We're going to a Game 3, baby. Winner could decide a lot for Group Nirvana. It's either LNG to the top or Ultra Prime likely done for the year. All of it comes down to a Game 3 match. So we'll start out with draft, of course, after a